dark shadow falls over his soul. From the ashes of a once great man has risen a curse, a wrong that must be righted. We look to the skies for a vindicator, someone to strike fear into the black hearts of the same man who created him. The battle between good and evil has begun. Against an army of shadows comes a dark warrior, the purveyor of good, with a voice of silence and a mission of justice. This is Sting.
Man, what a weekend.
What a weekend this is about to be. What a weekend it was.
Right.
What a weekend it is.
So true. See, so with all the festivities going on this weekend, we have to get into the booth and crank one of these puppies out ahead of time. Marcus may have some taxes to pay.
It's tax season in full effect.
Pre-tax season.
The 2-day tax window.
Oh, okay. It's like when tax day falls on a weekend. Like if it falls on a Saturday, you've got until Monday.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's that.
Fair enough. Welcome to Final Wrestling Place. I am Tim.
And I'm still Marcus.
And we are, for timing purposes, we are on the last steps of Sting's career, so to speak. To make the analogy, I believe today would be is today Palm Sunday? Or what would today be?
Correct. I think so.
Because Palm Sunday wasn't Palm Sunday a week before?
It's a week before.
Okay, so we're 3 days before.
Okay, so we're at the crucifixion.
So we're in the middle of the crucifixion right now.
Right.
Or do we want to say Jesus is dead, and now we're in the burial period of Steve before he is resurrected as a civilian.
Imagine how dope it is, but like Sting drops into the cave, into the tomb.
On that
and
wire.
He comes in with the bat. Man. Had some fun, man. Yeah, this is gonna be might be funny. It might be somber. Might cry during the episode. I know for sure I'm gonna cry Sunday. Already been choked up a couple times today. This hits, man. It's a rare good cry. It's oddly enough, the best way I can like try to like explain it for me, and this is like kind of going down a dark path, but like when my grandmother passed right before COVID, like I had this moment of closure, and like she definitely wasn't her normal self, but for like 2 hours I got to hang out and talk with her, and she was able to dial it back to who she was, and who I knew her to be for that 2-hour window. And then that was like the last time I saw her. And then she goes through the hospice ordeal, and she's out, and she passes. But it's like I got to see her one more time as she was, and that's the odd feeling I'm getting with Sting. And it's like very dramatic comparing it to my grandmother, but like Sting for me, yeah, like parts of my time didn't have a father figure. Parts of my time had a very poor father figure. So when it came to like males to look up to, truly superheroes you're trying to look up to, Sting, along with like Bret Hart, those are my two dudes, man. And we're here, man. We're at Sting's last match. Getting the opportunity. Oh, there's that word again. To be able to watch it with my very best friend and watch it with some great company as well.
You know, that's really nice of you to say about Brett. Man, boy, you know, sometimes when you're in a room and you just feel like you're the third man in the room because there's just so much love going on between the others, I swear, me, you, and Brett in a different life, we would have been in so much effing trouble.
Been a lot of trouble.
Oh,
We've been a lot of bailing out.
So much trouble, but so much good trouble. But yeah, so the phrase you used was, you know, superhero. And that's kind of been my, like, if I were a journalist or a newsman, if I was writing these pieces on Sports Illustrated or helping people craft things on the Players Tribune, I would be hammering home the thought of Sting being wrestling's last superhero. And he really, really is. He's a character who, once he found who he was, like everything from when he debuted up until, like, I would say the first Clash of Champions, right? Like everything before, whether it's a Blade Runner or Power Team USA or running with Eddie Gilbert or whatever he's doing, like, it's not until he's Sting and he has really nailed down Sting until today. He is that comic book off the page superhero in wrestling. And there's not that many of them that you can think about across the entire history of wrestling, right? Of actual, like, superhero wrestlers. Hulk, Sting, Warrior to a degree. Some would say Cena to a different class.
Right. Maybe Undertaker.
Undertaker, but again, Undertaker is not your traditional. You're not your traditional superhero.
Right.
He's that anti-superhero. Like, you know, some people are Batman and some people are Azrael, right? Maybe Undertaker's Azrael. Not quite Batman. You know, he does the right thing, but he does some bad stuff. And you couldn't always look up to the Undertaker, right?
Yeah,
like,
not when he's slicing people open and putting a symbol in them. Yeah.
Right. And like, or stealing people's childhood heirloom teddy bears and lighting them on fire in front of their face. Like, that's a no-no. But like, Hogan during the Hulkamania run from like 84 to 92, 93, and even into WCW before the NWO, Hulk's got that superhero juju. Cena, once he dropped Thugonomics and became the champ from WrestleMania.
The Marine, pretty much.
Yeah. WrestleMania 20, 21, depending on, I think it's somewhere in between. Like,
it's about 22.
But we really start to see the foundations before then.
They don't drop it, the Thugonomic stuff, until like summer, fall 05.
When he gets traded?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
But like Cena, Ultimate Warrior, he was never really somebody that you, in the ring, of course,
right.
Like, please do not look up to Hulk Hogan. Please do not look up to the Ultimate Warrior. Please do not look up to the Undertaker. Okay? 3 people you don't want to look up to. But like in wrestling, as wrestling characters, larger than life, had a creed, believed in it, and executed, right? And Sting is our oldest hero. He is our purest hero. And like, I'm going to go out. This is going to be crazy to say, but like, it's not a three-headed monster at the top for me anymore. It's Sting. It's always been Sting. And I think it's Sting for you. I think Sting is greater to you than Bret Hart.
I don't know if I'm ready to say that, but
Because
I would say like Sting has probably influenced me more.
Right.
With my other venture.
And not even just that though. It's like I as a friend, I see more sparkle, more joy come out of your eyes anytime Sting is mentioned. But with Bret, like, I don't know if it's because a lot of it, like, there's some dark clouds around certain parts when you talk about Bret. Not his fault, but like when you talk about Bret, you have things like the screw job you have to mention, or that match with Goldberg you have to mention. And it's like, you don't have to, but it's like when you think about them, they're a part of that overarching thought bubble, right? It's hard to separate those two because they're like the two most influential pieces. Like they're the 1A and 1B of like influential Bret Hart moments in wrestling.
Yeah, they're like this flood on Bret Hart's career that like you have to mention.
Right. Where Sting doesn't really have that.
Like the closest thing he has is like when they tried to turn him heel in WCW and like retcon the NWO and be like, it was Sting who was bad the whole time. And even with like wacky 99 WCW booking, people are like, nah,
it was not.
Nah, we're not going to boo Sting.
No. And like, I guess the only other black cloud is like his match with Triple H at WrestleMania. If that's a black cloud.
Right.
Or
the Jeff Hardy match.
But is that a black cloud?
He took care of Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And did the match.
And like the same thing with him and Triple H. Like, sure, the wrong NWO came out. Sure. But like, for the matches we had, that's the match we got. And like, people want to throw shade on Sting and Seth Rollins. Where Seth
that match rocks.
That match does rock. It rocks so hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to give Seth bad, like your man, your own hitman, calling Seth Rollins a reckless worker for hurting Sting. And like, yes, the buckle bombs to a man Sting's age, maybe not the best decision.
But also that's the type of worker Sting is, where Sting's like, no, we're going to do your stuff.
We're going to get your stuff in, pal.
Right. And we're going to do it twice to prove a point.
Because I'm a machine. But it's like, Sting doesn't have those black clouds.
Right.
He doesn't have anything super negative. But in the same turn, too, Sting really doesn't have, like, off-the-chart positives either, does he?
I mean, I just think of, like, week by week, man. Like, Sting descending with the bat. Just Sting and Luger in their different stages, whether you're talking about, like, you know, early 91, taking on the Steiner brothers, or at Super Brawl, or you're talking about, like, one of the best storylines of all time and, like, dynamics in 96, 95, 96, when Luger comes back to WCW with, like, Luger being a heel when Sting's not looking, but, like, being a babyface when Sting is looking.
And I just, which is funny, I just got to, I'm envious of Bret, But I've just started a Nitro rewatch back, starting from the night Scott Hall invades Nitro in May of '96.
Memorial Day Nitro, yep.
Yep. So I just got to the Nitro where I believe Luger turns on the Giant.
The Giant.
Because there's a tag match with the Steiners versus Luger and Sting on a Nitro in '96. The Giant comes out and like the Giant starts clearing house, and then eventually Luger starts hitting the Giant, and then everybody gangs up on the Giant.
And that was good stuff because the whole thing was like, is Luger
the Dungeon of Doom
gonna turn? Because we all know he's a jerk and we all know like he's been affiliated. But like, where's he gonna stand? Like
right.
it's time for him to take a stand one way or another. And then he ends up going against Giant, and they do the thing where like Luger's supposed to get a match, but like he misses the town because of like airline troubles or whatever. But yeah, he ends up getting the match. They do the match on Nitro. He gets like choke slammed through a table at ringside, the Ric Flair buffet, with Savage's alimony money. He gets choke slammed through that. They have the Great American Bash '96 match. That's Luger and Giant, but yeah, Sting's like a big part of that. And I'm trying to think of like earlier, because like the Crow stuff is like probably the meat of Sting's run. But like for us being able to watch Surfer Sting, like, do you have any favorite Surfer Sting moments or memories?
The really misremembered tag team of Sting and Davey Boy Smith.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah.
Like such a solid tag team from '93.
A great super team. A forgotten about super team.
What was their name? Because at was it Beach Blast '93?
Yes.
It's them two versus the Masters of the Power Bomb, right?
Yes.
Because that's where we had the boat with the little person trying to blow it up. Do you see how easy it is to remember that 5-star match game? Do you know how easy that is? Maybe if you
don't
had
know
actual Sting people on the show to commemorate Sting instead of all of your Voices of Wrestling sycophants. Maybe it's my candy talking. I'm going to stop.
No, hold up. Let them cook.
I'm just sitting here with the pot, just stirring it up. Okay.
I mean,
did you do a journalism?
The superpowers. They're the superpowers.
They're the superpowers, right. Which is great because Davey and Lex become the allied powers in WWE like a year later, a year and a half later.
Yeah, year and a half, yep.
Yeah. So, but Sting being the featured attraction on like most, if not all, of WCW's little stupid mini movies. Like Sting going to the White Castle of Fear.
Dude,
the Beach
that
Blast
takes me to the one I
video.
wanted to talk about.
The White Castle of Fear. Like
White Castle of Fear.
Like, oh my God. Bong Van Dam, you're 22 years old. Do me a favor. Watch The White Castle of Fear. Or anybody. Like, if you've not, and I'm not talking about the match, because the match is great anyways. But Sting having to ascend to the Rocky Mountains to cast audience with the man who fears no man and feels no pain.
Vita.
Vita. Yeah.
Dude.
Like, and then his stuff with Jake.
Mm-hmm.
For the spin the wheel, make the deal at the bar.
Yeah.
Where it looks like it's a bar fight.
Yeah.
And everybody just spin the wheel.
Another little person in there too.
Love it. Send it.
Sting, big advocate of little people.
Just add another gigantic green point to
And
Sting.
Medusa's in there too. Not going to explain
Ducey.
about that.
Yes.
hmm Yeah, man. But Sting being the action star, like that sums him up perfectly, man. Because he's in those mini movies, and then like as WCW looks to expand into pop culture, like isn't he on Baywatch
Yeah.
playing volleyball or whatever?
right.
Like he's in Thunder in Paradise. He's in Shutter Speed. Like you very easily see Sting translate beyond the ring, because it's just what he felt like, man. He felt like he belonged. He felt like an action hero.
He felt like an action hero, and to go back to like the superhero thought, the reason to me why he fit that bill is because very rarely has there been a time in wrestling where one person is actually two people. And you'll know where I'm going with this. Face painted, finger taped Sting is way different than no paint, sunglasses, sport blocker, or Rec Specs tie-in in the back.
Rec Spec Steve.
Rec Spec Steve. Zubaz Steve.
Yeah.
Two different people. That might as well be Clark Kent and Superman. Two different people live in the same body. But that's it. Like, very easily can Rec Spec Sting turn into Sting. Right? But that's what was so cool about it, is like you could see the two people.
Mm-hmm.
The non-painted sunglasses Sting was the dude. Like, he was the regular everyman.
And how I took that as a kid was like, whenever I saw Sting not in his Sting getup and like being calm, I was like, oh well, like Sting has to behave.
Right.
Like Sting has to be calm. Like taught me like there's a time and place to like be loud and obnoxious and rambunctious and ready to break stuff and owing and thumping your chest. And there's a time to put the sunglasses on and be reserved and, you know, be that version of yourself.
Right. God, man. Why do you think it is that people don't include a guy like Sting in conversations of who people should be like? You, like, for example, you always, when people talk about like who the next star is, it's always who's the next Hogan, who's the next Austin, who's the next Rock, who's the next Cena, who's the next whatever. And it's not a dude like who's the next Sting.
Yeah, that's probably a big victim of like WWE winning the war.
Right.
Is that all those, you know, the WCW homemade guys get forgotten about? Like, truth is, Batista's a lot closer to Lex Luger in a good way than he is, you know, any other, you know, Hogan or whoever else you want to try to compare him to. Like,
There's the big noticeable difference is Batista never had a junk touching phase.
Dolph.
Those are some great
yeah.
supercut videos of Luger just cannot keep from adjusting himself.
The nervous tick of Lex Luger. Yeah, Sting.
Do you have a nervous tick?
I probably do, but it's not flipping my junk.
That's right.
I think with Sting is, and of course the other guys are too, but it's different with Sting. Like, how can you possibly be the next Sting? Like, there's a formula there for being the next Stone Cold. You got to be rebellious. You got to walk tall. You got to trust nobody. You got to act alone. And you got to be able to deal with the consequences.
Right.
so there's a formula with Austin, right? And going up against authority is like
Right. Gotta hate
easily
your
like
boss.
his character boiled down to its simplest format. They tried it with Cena multiple times at the beginning. They tried the same exact thing. Eventually they find their footing with Cena, which is hustle, loyalty, respect.
Mm-hmm. Which
Right?
is
Dedication, never give up.
closer to Sting.
A lot closer to Sting. But like they fell into that. Um yeah, I don't know. You know, it's to me it's a lot easier to, and maybe part of it is like the larger than life aspect of Sting.
Or
He's a
like the
big
money.
dude. Like
Or
he's a
like
big
yeah.
he's a big dude. Like he's 6'4". He's blonde, he's tan, he's jacked, he's got the face paint. If you want to go with like, and even with like Crow Sting, you can't jump. And this is a problem, like a larger problem with like NXT to WWE talent. As an NXT, they want to give you all the answers, but they don't want you to go through the test to get there. And so they want you to have this finished character before you've had the opportunity to go through the steps and the learning process and the character changes and the dynamics and that journey of you as a character. There's a reason why Shawn Michaels, as much as I don't like him as a character, there's a reason why Shawn Michaels, like when he super kicks the Undertaker and then the Undertaker kicks out, like why that means something. It's because those guys have, 20 years of history as characters.
Right.
And you can't just like manufacture that and copy and paste it with two guys in NXT who have been there for a year. It doesn't mean the same. And with like characters, it's the same thing. Like, why do you walk down the ramp the way you do? Why do you pose towards a hard cam the way you do? Why do you do these moves? Why is this your taunt? Like, there's things with Sting, like the thumping of the chest, the wooing, like kind of from Flair with like his own take on it. All these things that like Sting had as a character, he got them over time, and we got to go on that journey with him. And we got to see the ups and the downs, and like the ultimate, as they talked about on We Need Wrestling, like the ultimate probably fresh coat of paint. With I think it's the biggest risk. Like I think Hogan turning heel, it was the biggest thing left to do, but I don't think it was a risk. I do think it's a huge risk for Sting to go from this colorful character, even though he's in his like divorced dad hair
Yeah.
era Sting in '96. But to go to like Crow Sting and not talk and not be over the top and not thump his chest and not woo, not ow, do pick up the Scorpion death drop along the way. Like
The
it's a
biggest
big character risk, man.
yeah, and the biggest risk of it all is in order to make this caterpillar change, this chrysalis like change, you had to take WCW's single biggest star or good guy and say, hey, we're not going to feature you for 9 months.
Yep.
Like, you're off the books. Like, that is insane. Like, imagine any promotion doing that right now. Like, hey, Swerve, we got this great idea for you. You're at the top of you're the top of the heap right now. Let's take you off TV for 6 months. But nobody's going to hurt you. Nobody's going to injure you. You're just going to walk away to prove a point. Which is the craziest thing of all of it. That whole storyline with Sting. The risks involved. You're using your other surrounding players, your other the other faces, the guys who are going to be here after Sting leaves voluntarily. They're all going to question Sting and his loyalty. Right. And then it's going to make you all, the fans, question his loyalty. So they put you on edge a little bit. And, man, there's nobody like him. And they won't
There's nobody like him. There's never going to be anything like that storyline again just because of the the clear start to finish they had and the level of patience and that they exercised, people aren't going to be that patient anymore, man. Like,
I mean, another thing I can think of that, like, on the realistic side of why we could never do this again is because I don't think we're ever going to be in a situation in which a superstar can jump from one promotion to the other in such a way that it like fully disrupts the other company, and to have the forethought to then make a second promotion within your first promotion so
right.
that they can interfight.
It's
Like,
a unique
there's not
blend.
there's not a Hogan leaving WWF to WCW.
Right.
And then a year and a half of discontent brewing within the fan base of WCW,
Right.
begging for something different.
Right. Because the promotion totally changes.
Right. It does.
Yeah.
It really changes the night Scott Hall debuts.
And it's wild to Sting, and like it speaks to him, like the confidence he had in himself to be able to look around and be like, yeah, this thing can get to another level. Bring in the Hulkster. And when you're bringing in the Hulkster, you're signing up for the Hulk Hogan friends and family package.
Yes. The super ultra mega package.
Right. You're getting, Duggan and Kamala and Earthquake and Honky Tonk Man and the other Hogan crony luminaries.
Guys like Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, Abyss. Those guys, right? They come in.
Right.
No, that's a little. That's
for later.
That's the 20-year anniversary package.
And the confidence of Sting to be like, yeah, man, like let's take this thing to another level. Let's give it a shot. Let's do it. Let's commit. And he does it. And that's the thing with Sting, man. Like, Sting commits. There is no half pregnant. There is no half measure with Sting. When Sting does something, like, he goes for it. Whether it's the Surfer Sting and it's him being over the top and him believing it, and like he makes you believe, and he always makes you believe. That's what I love about Sting. Or whether it's him being a Crow, you got this grown dude dressed up as the Crow. At least I knew the Crow was a movie when I was a kid. I understood it. I understood what he was doing. I didn't think of Sting as a Crow ripoff, though.
No.
But like, that may be because...
Sorry about that. I think it was because when we were growing up, we were maybe a little young. Were we a little too young for Crow?
Yeah, like I definitely didn't watch it, but like I knew of it. I saw the posters at Blockbuster. Like as soon as I saw it, like I understood what it was and what the character was like drawing from.
Right.
But I was just like, it's his own thing, like kind of like Demolition with Legion of Doom. Like,
less colors.
I see the influence, but it's its own thing to me. And that's how I felt about like Sting, but like he bought in and he did it. And like he carries that over. Wolfpack Sting, right? Tomato face Sting, our favorite version, maybe the best version of Sting. Like he did it, man. He went with the all red and
Birth of Us.
Yeah, man. The birth of our friendship, man. Like,
okay,
what would we be talking about if Sting didn't join the Wolfpack that week?
Okay, sidebar question. So we're going to the compound for Revolution. Would you count a red and black NWO Wolfpack shirt as a Sting shirt?
I would.
See? I'm just thinking out loud.
I gotta have the trimmed up goatee.
Dog, I'm right there.
Okay. Yeah. Keep it trimmed up, nice and tight.
Yeah.
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 I got a pair of mechanics gloves you can use if you need them.
Black leather gloves. So the question that you posed before I steamrolled it to Wolfpack Sting.
Yeah, which is hypothetical, but like Sting joining the Wolfpack, that's like the talking point that sparked
Oh,
our brotherhood.
right. But that I think that speaks to who Sting was to both of us. Like, we're both the little stingers that have grown old with Sting. And like, especially at that point, we were real little stingers.
Right.
And we were like, man, we already thought the Wolfpack was cool. And now, like, the coolest dude on the planet is with the cool dudes? That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and I never really thought about it, but like it really does boil down to like you loving Sting, me loving Sting, and it brought us together. And that is
Right.
wild.
It is.
From hundreds of miles away,
like,
we end up in the same place talking about the same guy.
yeah, it and that's kind of weird because it's like, I guess I am now putting words into like subliminal thoughts I might have had over the last week leading up to this. But like, this Sunday this is going to sound really like, this is like dudes being bros for a minute and like really getting into bro love. But it's like a part of us dies on Sunday. Like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's like a taste of finality, man. But the finality comes from mortality.
Right.
And it sucks. And it's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. It's an experience. And you don't know what the experience is going to be like until it happens. And yeah, man, it's just a reminder, like Sting saying that like the little stingers aren't so little anymore. They're grown adults with their own little stingers now. Like, it's so true. Like I showed you the video, like
Yeah.
my daughter
It's surreal.
doing the chest thump and the wooing. Like,
so I have to tell you why it's so damn cute. So Marcus is absolutely wearing a Sting shirt. And he's like pointing at his shirt and going, "Who's this?" And then of course she goes, "Sting." And then she goes, "What is it?" Marcus like, "What does he do?" And she beats her chest, but she goes, "Ow." She like beats her chest and goes, "Ow." And you know she's trying to go, "Woo," but she doesn't know woo. She knows ow. So I'm just seeing my goddaughter beat on her chest and go like beat,
ow.
Ow. punch, ow. Oh man, that makes me so fucking happy.
Yeah, man, we're getting old, and it's a blessing, and it's cool.
Right.
But it sucks. It sucks, but it's good, and I'm looking forward to whatever happens, and the tears are gonna flow, and gonna be around the homies, and it's gonna be a river of grown man tears, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. This is also like, we kind of had it with The Undertaker. You never had it with Brett, which I'm very sorry for. But like, even with The Undertaker, we didn't have it. Not like this. Because like, Undertaker was pretty much gone for 10 years before he actually retires. But like, he's just like, "Oh, I'm here every year, but I'm only here for like 3 days." Where like Sting is like full-time until he's not for 2 years, and then he's full-time until he's not, and then he's full-time until he's not. And you know, it's only until he's with WWE that like you have the really shortened periods of time. But just the consistency of Sting But what I'm trying to get to is that we are finally experiencing what a lot of older fans got to experience with like Bruno or like they're older heroes. You actually get to see them all kind of fade normally, like actually fill out their career instead of like, oh man, he was cool for like 3 years. What happened to Brackus?
Yeah. And like the cool thing with Sting is like we got this like deflating false finish of an end of his career with the WWE run. And they didn't know how to use him and they didn't know how to treat him right. They knew how to treat him wrong and not treat him with the consistency and the respect that character deserves. And like that was like, well, I guess I'll be grateful for it, you know, like it's better than nothing. But he takes the time off. We get AEW up and running, and then he's in there, and that winter is coming, man. When Sting comes out, like that was like, holy smokes! Like, all right, we had that little WWE run, but now we're gonna get like a last Sting run, and for it to be what it ended up being, which was just nothing but awesome matches, awesome moments, Sting playing ball with everybody that he could. Like the list of people that Sting's worked with on pay-per-view is incredible. Like Sting could very easily just come back and be like, I'm only working with my friends. I'm only working with this handful of people, and that's it. And that's not what Sting did, man. Like Sting tried to work with as many people as possible to shine them up, give them the opportunity to do something cool and to learn. Like it's 20 some people he worked with on pay-per-view with the likes of like Powerhouse Hobbs and Sammy Guevara, like younger talent, newer talent. Like that's really cool because a lot of times those legends don't work. They might work with one or two. They don't work with 15, 20 different people. They work with their friends.
Right.
So it's a blessing we got what we did. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm just gonna enjoy it. You know, the match is a match. It's gonna exist in its own vacuum, I think.
I have a weird wackadoodle space theory about that.
All right.
But we'll get there because I still want to. Oh, there's one thing I want to chime in on is like you even talk about everybody he worked with on pay-per-view. I don't know if I can think of another effective time that a old vet wrestler takes a young talent under his wing and transfers so much of himself into his protege.
Right.
Without making Darby feel like a number two.
Right. Yeah.
I never thought of it as Sting's got Darby. It's Darby's got Sting. It's like Darby's like this one. And Sting never upstaged Darby in any position he could have.
Never. And like a couple of the also promos we got with like Sting giving Darby the pep talk before he goes and faces Joe again for the TNT title.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. And then the last promo a couple weeks ago with Sting and Darby.
Fight of Your Life promo.
The Fight of Your Life promo, man. Like, oh my God. And yeah, he's really done wonders, I think, for Darby. And I think it's going to take a while to fully see the effect of Sting on Darby. But I know I'm going to be along for the ride, man. Like, Darby Allin's a guy, just looking at him, I'm like, he's fun, he's cool. He's probably not for me. But, like, I can understand his demo and the appeal he has to people. So, like, good luck to him. But now, like, sorry, man. Like, I'm going to be rooting for Darby Allin whenever he's got a match. Because that's Sting's dude.
That's Sting. He is imparting just like I have to rep the great Sakai or Sakuya, great Sakuya, Muda's kid. I have to support Sting's kid. And then, heaven forbid, The Undertaker implants himself into any NXT kid. I don't want that. I don't want to have to root for somebody for him too. But yeah, man, Darby's gonna be special. Darby's gonna fill that Sting role for me, or I'm gonna try to fill that Sting role with him, and let's see if he can fit the bill, right? But that may be unfair to put on to Darby, right? Like, to give him the to transfer all of the emotion from Sting into Darby. Like,
Yeah, it's impossible. The circumstances are different. Like, I definitely don't look up to Darby. I'm, a grown man. Didn't come up with him, but like, as a character, like, will I be rooting for him? Yeah. Well, like, will I be pulling for him to win the belt? Absolutely. Like, when it comes time to have him in the title picture, absolutely, I'll be pulling for him against anybody he faces, because that's Sting's guy.
yeah. Well, I know we've had a busy week with our regular work stuff. Have to pay those gimmicks they call bills. But did you get a chance to take a revolutionary trip with your DVD player?
Yes, I did. Got the advanced copy. Yeah, bell rings. Hata, hata, hata. Stinger splash,
Pre-cap
stinger
time, by the way.
splash.
He doesn't even let me get pre-cap in. How dare he?
Nope. Scorpion death drop. Scorpion deathlock. Sit down with it. That's the end of the match.
Okay. This is the version I had, okay? The Texas Tornado match takes 5 minutes. Sting and Darby just bum rush through the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks made it personal. They went after Sting's family. Nobody's gone after Sting's family. Sting's pissed. And Sting and Darby tear through the Young Bucks in 5 minutes. This is all the main event, okay? Main event, 5 minutes, okay? It happened. So they celebrate and everything. And, Sting and Darby do the speech in the ring. And Darby asks Sting for a favor at the end of the night.
Okay.
You get Sting. Darby requests one match with Sting.
Okay.
Darby Sting after the tag title match where Darby beats Sting. Sting gives it all to Darby. He doesn't let the Young Bucks have it. And the tag titles don't have to go to the Young Bucks. They now go into abeyance for a tag team tournament that will conclude at Double or Nothing.
I don't want to see Darby and Sting fight at all, but if that's what was on your copy, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Other stuff on the copy,
King up,
because it's real.
But
Will Ospreay got jumped out of the Don Callis family.
he loses the match.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
I didn't see the finish.
My copy, the Don Callis family cost Ospreay the match, jumping him out.
That's a surprise. Okay.
Gotta keep
my
Big
copy
Tank strong.
My copy had OC retaining
I have it too.
the title.
That's the copy I have. Who wins Not Meat Madness?
My copy was scrambled. I couldn't see who was in the match. Just kind of skipped over it.
Do you want to play a little? Does Marcus know the card? for just the not Meat Madness match.
So I heard it was an all-star scramble, but I have no idea who's in it.
It's an 8-person all-star scramble.
All right, I'm gonna guess Hobbs.
Hobbs is in it.
I'm gonna guess Sammy Guevara.
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
Samuel Guevara not in it.
Okay.
Ham.
Brody King.
No.
Oh man.
Okay. Do you give up or are you thirsty for more?
Do
you even know who was in the
close.
Meat Madness match?
No, because everybody announced was hurt.
No, the people they didn't announce were hurt.
Only person I knew that was in Meat Madness was Hobbs. The Big Bill's got to be in there.
No.
What?
No. Okay, there were 3 dudes announced for Meat Madness. Hobbs, Wardlow, and Lance Archer.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
so they in the scramble?
All 3 of them are in this all-star scramble.
Okay.
There are 5 more people. One of them gets added on a taped Collision that airs Saturday. Okay. And one happens on a taped Rampage that's going on right now as we're recording.
What about Ricky Starks?
No.
What? What's Ricky Starks doing?
Nothing. He's not on the card.
Why? He's great. What is he doing?
He's on punishment, I guess.
He's like one of the best people.
I know.
Why isn't he wrestling?
By the way, the winner of this match gets a guaranteed AEW World Title match.
So it better be Hobbs.
Well, there's Wardlow, not Lance Archer. You give up?
Yeah, I don't. Everybody I'm naming, you're like, no, they're not wrestling. I'm like, why are they wrestling?
Okay. Notable 2024 fan favorite Chris Jericho. He's in this match. The cold-blooded handsome devil Hook. Brian Cage. Dante Martin. And not that Magnus. His name is Magnus. He's from CMLL. He is not Magnus, though. Yes. If this were a video podcast, you would see what is so funny is that Mark, as I'm reading these names, Marcus is shooting me with like laser eye bullets. Like,
where's Ricky Starks?
Not here. You had the tape too.
Is he wrestling somewhere? Did I miss his match?
No, it didn't happen.
What's he wrestling?
I don't know. You sound like Colt Cabana's mom from that story. Why isn't he wrestling? Why? Oh, yeah, Ricky Stark's not on the card. Do you even know the card? Oh, no.
Sting's last match.
Yep, good. Ding.
It might be the Young Bucks' last match.
Hope so, ding.
There's Garcia and Christian.
Yes.
There's FTR and Claudio and Moxley.
Yes.
There's Danielson and King.
Yep.
There's Big Take and Will Ospreay.
That's right.
OC and Rod Strong.
That's right.
And
I believe you're missing just 2 matches.
There's that scramble. There's Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo.
Mm-hmm.
And is
did you say the big match?
Oh Oh, there's a triple threat for the world title, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hangman's winning the belt.
No!
Yeah.
Don't do this. You can't take Sting from me and get Swerve away from the title.
Yeah, Hangman's winning the belt.
No.
Swerve kind of has to win it off Hangman.
No.
Yeah.
No. We already
Yeah.
know Swerve can beat Hangman.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it again.
And that's why they're going to do it again.
Oh, man. So much Sting talk.
Where's Julia Hart?
She was on Dynamite. Managing Sky Blue. Yeah.
Where's Willow and Statlander?
They were fighting Sky Blue.
Why aren't they on the show?
They were. They were on Dynamite.
I'm not talking about Dynamite. I'm talking about the pay-per-view.
Well, there's probably a 0 hour we haven't seen any matches for. So we could probably get Julia Gulia and Blue Sky against Willow and Stat.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, man. Did you buy anything this week?
Did I buy anything this week? That's an excellent question. No, not really. Aside from can you count the money you set aside specifically for a boys trip to a casino?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay. I purchased a fun afternoon with the boys.
There we go.
Yes.
Wonderful.
That's what I did. I made other adult purchases, but those shouldn't count. Those should not count. No. But yeah, that's about it. Did you purchase anything this week?
I've been buying a lot of booties, a lot of bootlegs. Too many to keep track of.
Yeah, look
so it's
at
gonna
you.
Be fun
your best
when
friend.
The packages just get delivered. Be like, I forgot what I bought. Let's see what shirt this is.
I bet you. Is your consortium just as upset as I am when we see packages come in?
No, because the majority of packages are hers.
Okay.
So when one's for me, it's like, oh, you finally got one. Good for you. It's definitely like a 20-to-1 ratio.
Okay. All right. Same. Oh, but you've been getting some boots, huh?
Yeah, some boots. Yeah, I think that's it. There's a lot of boots. I had to pay a merch bill, so that's heavy.
Ooh.
Yeah, some new gummy something merch coming for some people. Made it this late into the podcast. Congratulations. And that's about it for weekly purchases.
Yeah, that's about it. That last one's a big boy purchase.
It's a big one. That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, we got to make it up. We got to make it up hard on heavy. We're going to tax them. Gonna tax them. Do you have anything to promote?
Yeah, on behalf of my friend Mr. Pig, March 9th, 2024. That is next weekend. Mr. Pig's going to be up at Enjoy Wrestling. It's basically in Pittsburgh, but it's not Pittsburgh. But whatever. It's basically Pittsburgh. But Mr. Pig and Erica Lee are going to be taking on the production. In a much anticipated matchup for the Enjoy Tag Team titles. And then Mr. Pig also has another date that popped up for, I'm going to get this date right, May 26th is for Wrestlers Lab. Mr. Pig and Erica Lee are going to be taking on the team of Savage Gnomes. So that's going to be a good time. That's going to be up at Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, the butt crack of New York City.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pig might have wished that he asked for even more money because that drive is not fun. So, that's it.
Nice. Not too shabby. Only thing I ever have to plug is soon to be named network.com, soon to be named network.tumblr.com. Get your home for this and so many other podcasts, including, but not limited to, our wrestling offerings of At Odds with Wrestling with Joe and Adam, At Odds with Hayabusa with Adam on the Patreon, just made to the regular feed as well. The half episode, very fun this week. And of course, We Need Wrestling with DJ and Brett. At STBN Network on Twitter is your spot for this show, all the other shows, Wings on Wings, Longbox Heroes, Longbox Heroes After Dark. You can find it all. Soon to be named network.com, which we are proud members of. If you want to follow us on social media, you absolutely can. At Not the Tool Man for me, at the Wrestling Speakeasy for Marcus. If you know, you know. At TNM Shows on Twitter, Final Wrestling Place Podcast over on YouTube. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. Make sure you don't miss it. Just putting the podcast everywhere we can. You can get it on your podcatcher of choice as well. But when we are back here next week, we'll have, of course, more fun, more discussion. But everybody, enjoy your Sting time. We'll be back next week to commiserate over actually have finally witnessed Sting's last match. But right now, Marcus, all that's left is to tell the people goodbye.
Bye, boys.